Okay, so in this video, I'm going to work through some practice problems dealing with chemical and physical changes, along with chemical and physical properties. In these types of problems, I will explain the thought process and way I kind of look at each question so that you can see exactly how I work these types of problems out. Before we start, there are some key items you might want to keep in mind. First, physical changes are changes that only alter a substance's state of matter or appearance. It does not result in a new substance being created. Secondly, is chemical changes are changes in which alter a substance's molecular makeup. It does result in a new substance being created and it cannot be undone. So these reactions are unreversible. For our first set of problems, we're going to identify whether a physical or chemical change occurs to a substance. Here are your questions. Number 1. A fungus decomposes a tree limb that has fallen. Number 2. Putting a document through a paper shredder. Number 3. Melting an ice cube. Number 4. Your body digesting a sandwich after lunch. And number 5. Grilling a hamburger for a cookout. Pause this video if you want and attempt classifying these following occurrences as either chemical or physical properties. Okay, so let's start working through these. Number 1, a fungus decomposes a tree limb. When looking at this problem, I think about the act of decomposition. When something is decomposed, it is being broken down on a molecular level. Because this breakdown alters the chemical makeup of the tree limb, I would consider this a chemical change. Number 2, putting a document through a paper shredder. When you shred paper, you cut it apart. Yes, the paper looks different and is altered by being shredded, but it does not change the chemical makeup of that paper. With a great deal of effort, we could piece all those shreds of paper together to make that document back. Because this can be reversed, it is going to be considered a physical change. Number 3, melting an ice cube. Melting is a change in state from a solid state to a liquid state. Because it is a change in physical state and it can be reversed, I would consider this melting an ice cube to be a physical change. Number 4, your body digesting a sandwich after lunch. Once you eat something, you cannot get that substance back to what it looked like before you ate it. Digestion is a chemical breakdown of food. Because this alters the sandwich chemically and it cannot be reversed, I would consider this a chemical change. Here's the last one for these types of questions. Grilling a hamburger for a cookout. Think about this one. Once you cook a hamburger, you cannot uncook it. Heat alters the chemical makeup of that hamburger meat and it cannot be reversed. We cannot get that raw meat back. This means that this is a chemical change. Now let's talk about chemical and physical properties. Before we start though, let's keep in mind the key indicators of physical and chemical properties. For physical properties, if we see the following words, it is a key indicator that this is probably a physical property being observed. Color, taste, melting point, boiling point, density. On the other side, for chemical properties, some key words we're looking for are corrosiveness, flammability, acidity, toxicity. Though these words are key indicators of what type of property is being observed, they do not work 100% of the time. So keep in mind that physical properties indicate physical changes, while chemical properties indicate chemical changes. For this section, here's what we're doing. Identify whether the properties being observed is a physical or chemical property. So here's our questions. Number 6, the change of an iceberg's density as it starts to melt. Number 7, when heating water, it must reach a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius to boil. Number 8, sodium is a very reactive element, and once it is dropped in water, it spontaneously combusts. Number 9, in the TV series Breaking Bad, Walt and Jesse used hydrochloric acid to dispose of a body. The strength of the acid needed to dissolve the body is what kind of property? And finally, number 10, color blindness is a deficiency in which those who have it suffer from the inability to distinguish different hues of light, which we perceive as color. The ability to see or not see these hues is what kind of property? Just like last time, pause the video and take a minute to attempt these problems. Now, number 6, the change in an iceberg's density. I see two indicators in this problem that help me come up with the answer. First, the word melt. Melting is a phase change from a solid to a liquid. That means it is a physical change. Second, the word density indicates that there is a physical change occurring. So, in saying that, we are observing a physical property here. Number 7, boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius. Boiling point is a key indicator that a physical change is occurring. Also, boiling liquid changes a liquid from a liquid form to a gaseous form. This is a state change. That means there's a physical change. So, in saying all that, that means this is a physical property we are observing. Number 8, sodium reacting with water. Reactivity is a key indicator of a chemical change, and it is even more evident when there is fire involved in the form of combustion. That means this is a chemical property that is being observed. Number 9, Walt and Jesse use an acid to dissolve a body. When something is dissolved in acid, it cannot be undone. That means that's a chemical change. Also, the strength of the acid is known as acidity, which is a key word indicating that we are observing a chemical property here. Finally, number 10, the ability to see or not see hues of light. So if you read the question carefully, you realize that the ability to see these hues correlates with the ability to see color. Color is a physical property. So the ability to see color is what we're going to be considering a physical property. I hope these practice questions gave you a little bit of help in understanding how we approach chemical and physical properties or change problems. As always, you can rewind this video and review it as many times as needed to help you understand these concepts. If you feel comfortable with these types of problems, then you can go ahead and view the next video in our unit playlist. As always, keep up the good work in the class, and see you next time.